gotta keep it real. Keep it real, folks.
Let's keep it real.
So in keeping it real, let's go on to our next topic here of
so one of the
organization charts.
Right? I don't know how this came about. It was kind of searching for something, and we come across the Township Organizational Chart, and thought this was a kind of a. So you'll notice something about this organizational chart.
Can you zoom in on that for people to see?
I can.
Anything?
Yeah. So.
Oh, I can't see it. So who's at the top?
The top is the Township Council.
Legislative.
Yeah.
It's too far away from me.
Statutory appointments. But basically, the council is the top of the organizational chart in Gloucester Township.
I can't see, Joe. There's lines going down to mayor.
There are. We're not good at PDFs in Gloucester Township. Our PDFs generally aren't great. No.
Okay.
But there are lines that go down to boards and agencies, mayor, the executive,
the township clerk. Okay.
And it kind of goes down through that. But essentially, the top of the township,
top dog
is the council.
Township Council.
Council overlooks everything.
They're over everything.
You might ask, what's wrong with that? But
I don't know.
We can.
Let's look at some other towns. What do other towns have?
So Glendale, because Glendale, just it's Googling for township organizational charts, and Glendale we can look at.
Wait a minute. Who's at the top of this one? The
citizens of Glendale. Yes,
you've got to be kidding me.
Glendale, who then appoint their city council to speak for them. That is, that's how that works.
They appoint them or they elect them?
They elect them. Sorry, that's the way.
So council, all the elected officials report to the citizens. This is pretty amazing. This is telling.
This
stuff.
is if you've never paid attention to politics in any other town, you probably wouldn't know. Here's Hamilton. Hamilton
Township. Okay, what do they have?
Residents.
The residents of Hamilton Township are above
the elected officials.
All elected officials.
Yes.
Everyone.
So yes.
So wait, go back. Can you go back to Gloucester Township and see where we fall on that chart?
We fall.
Let's see here. How do you get back there?
There we go.
Okay, are we there?
There's no residents here. It is just.
So the residents weren't even thought of when they said, "Let's make a chart of the organization of this town and who's in charge of who."
We're not there.
You're sure?
We don't
checked
exist.
every box.
We don't. Yeah, we're not.
We're not even bottom of the barrel.
Nope. We're just. We're just the guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just the guys.
Interesting.
I mean, San Antonio. You need another one. San Antonio.
We could probably do these all day, right?
I don't know. I just started googling like township organizational charts.
So San Antonio looks like the residents.
Again. This is a little bit smaller image, but residents are over mayor and city council. So they that's been it's been one of the biggest arguments we have. We've got a crowd of people in. It's not a big crowd. There's not a whole lot of us that go to council meetings, but
wait, so 3 people or is a crowd now?
There's a few of us in the crowd, and the people that we're talking to, Orlando, Hutchinson, Grace, those people are essentially our peers. We've elected them to represent us.
Right.
So, if you think about it, there's 7 of them. If you were to turn to everybody sitting in the chairs, asking questions, watching council meetings, or watching on YouTube, and you ask them what their opinion is on any given topic, pick 10 people, ask them what their opinion is, you're probably going to get a few different answers, a few different opinions. 7 people might say, yeah, I agree. 3 people are going to say, I don't agree. It's going to be like that everywhere. I know that the rest of the people I go to council meetings with, I don't agree with some of their stances. We did.
True.
Yeah, we ran a campaign, and there were 4 people in our campaign that we're quite different. We all kind of had the same thing we wanted in mind, but we had kind of different ways to get there. What we have right now is 7 people who essentially think the same.
Well, I'm going to go back to what you just said there. I might be one of the people you disagree with on on things, but I feel like that might have implied that they don't have the same end goals. Like, go back to that Orlando comment that this was a good thing for the township. That's great. It can be, and I agree that it's a good thing for, the people of Brittany Woods. So they also do have good goals in mind, and it's the paths that we take to those goals, I believe, is what you're saying, right? There's different ways to do things, different ways to handle situations, and different things. It's not all of our goals are all the same, but the ones that are the same, we just take different paths to get there. Is that fair or no? Or am I going way off topic?
I mean,
from what you...
No, well, you can look at that and say, where's the downside to it?
Right.
1, it helps those people out. 2, it helps that whole area of town out.
Right.
And then 3, it helps the entire town.
Right.
The better that each individual area of town grows,
right,
the better the town grows, and then the more, the more businesses want to come in, and hopefully not warehouses and more Wawas and dollar stores, but
right.
But it's a plus any way you look at it. But how we get there,
which is what I got you off traffic, and that's where you were saying is it's different views of how we all get there, and right now it's not. Oh, go ahead.
That's exactly what it is. But the thought of sitting there watching the meetings in person and seeing the people sit up on there and seeing our council sit up on there and feeling so disconnected from them is the biggest thing, and it's why the seats are empty.
Right.
Around us.
If you're on the dais, you're them, and you're on the other side, you're us, and it's an us versus them feeling anytime that you go there.
Yeah,
when it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be you're representing us. If somebody's going up there and asking a question, you would think one person up there on the dais would say, "Hey, I agree with whoever it is that's up there saying something."
So there's a video that I pulled out that I just thought was it was cold.
Yeah.
And it's if you've ever watched a council meeting, if you've ever gone to a council meeting, the gentleman there, his name is Brian Burns. He is he's a big fan of preserving open space. Yeah. He's one of the many people in this town that are
huge advocate for it, and he's done a lot with actually getting it secured, and
he's basically
found the funding.
He's
everything.
Found the funding. He's worked with if somebody owns a farm and it's a historical farm, like he's gone there and worked with that family and then gone back
and got them to not sell it to become housing for something else, and said, "Hey, you're going to take market rate for it being just land, not what it could be as something else." Talk them. Well, I don't know if he talked them into it, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, he's facilitated this
for
them,
and he's gotten everything. Just saying like, "Okay, here's the keys, here's the money, do it," and just handed it over. It's done deal for them. Found the meantime, everything.
In the meantime, he's had a lot of roadblocks. Like there's just been a lot of like dead space where he's like, "Guys, what are we doing?" There's this family
6 months, and all we need right now is for the name to be added to the list. Our vendor that we pay money to, all they need to do is literally add this name to a list, and we can move forward. But they haven't done it in 3 months or whatever the time frame is. Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, well, they're getting to it." And he's like, "Well, okay, getting to it is just simply adding a name." And it'll argue about having. We used to have someone in township as an employee to do these things, and now we've taken that employee and made it a vendor, versus an employee. Split their job up into two different. Either way, I'm getting way off topic here.
And I think this particular comment came up. I don't know if this was around the warehouse thing or it was around. It's around building a bunch of different things. Like, I know
this was for the one that was over by Cross Keys Road that was going up. There was a neighborhood.
This is the corner. Okay, is this the neighborhood or is this the warehouse?
Yeah, it was a warehouse going up. Yeah,
so if you're familiar with Lowe's and Target,
correct.
behind them on.
I don't know.
I forget the name of the road there. I live right around the corner from it.
Yeah.
But there is the old Nike base. There's a new development right there, and across the street from that is a field, and then another new development that was put in also. But that field essentially is going to become like a 48-bay warehouse.
Yeah.
And the thought was, well, we don't need more trucks on Crosskeys Road. We don't need trucks in the back roads. We don't need trucks on Sicklerville Road. That's backed up like crazy to get to 42. And then plus, who wants a warehouse?
Yeah.
Just kind of.
I believe the zoning was already zoned for that and everything. So I don't think it was a big change of use or anything like that. For this project, but
I think
either way, I think we're getting off topic here. The point of it was Brian was just going up, explaining that these space can be preserved and not have to be done this way.
It can be if you want to.
Yeah.
So here, check it out.
Property across from Mullen, it was zoned for 1 acre properties for residential homes, and you guys approved it to be changed. They got townhouses in there, so you're going to add, a lot more people in the same amount of space, and you change the zoning for that. You change the zoning for Little Pond down here. So the zoning can be changed, but you have to want to do it. You have to say to yourselves that, if this place is built out enough, the roads are so crowded and congested, and you're putting more burden on the police department and EMS and leaf pickup and snow removal and so on and so forth. You can do it, but you have to want to do it. That's the thing, you have to want to do it. And the idea that, well, the more we build, the more we can control our taxes, it just seems like the more you build, the more our taxes go up. Because there's more demand on the services. And if you were to approach landowners that have land now and say, we have money, and you do have money, you have well over $1 million for open space acquisition, would you consider preserving your land instead of selling it to a developer? It can be done, but you have to want to do it.
Mr. Burns, your time is up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
So yeah, that's
pretty cold.
That's the guys up there. That's not the first time that's happened.
No,
it happens all the. I don't know if you go to school board meetings, but that's literally, you go up there, you can say anything, and it literally is that it? Thank you, and they're just dismissed, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't.
What?
As put yourself on council, and you've got to say something. You could say, I don't like open space. You could say that.
I would say that, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, you could say that. At least you're acknowledging them, or you could say, look, I really, I like where you're going, or give them a reason why it makes sense to you to put houses there or a warehouse there.
Yeah.
Not just time's up.
Yeah.